In case you haven't seen this in recent news reports, the state of Illinois is about to declare bankruptcy. Yeah, they've run out of money, and we're about to see what happens when the let's play pretend debt bubble collapses. And that's actually a good way to describe this. And I don't remember which author came up with that title, but it was a great story I read recently called What Happens When the Pretend World Ends? And the state of Illinois is about to find that out because they've run out of money. Turns out they have $15 billion that they owe to various creditors, including road repair contractors and so on, insurance companies, whoever, bondholders, lots of people. They owe $15 billion. And they don't have $15 billion. In fact, they have $0. So, Illinois is on the verge of declaring bankruptcy. As of, I think, early July, the road construction and road repair companies are supposed to stop all work. So the roads will fall into disrepair, and Illinois will be on its way to becoming the next Venezuela in America, kind of a third world nation inside America, especially in places like Chicago, which is also the murder capital of the world due to its gun control mandates that don't allow citizens to defend themselves against the armed gangbangers.
Violent crimes are on the rise in Chicago.
Being a record year in the city of Chicago, and for all the wrong reasons. The murder rate has never. It was a violent and deadly Christmas weekend in Chicago.
Chicago is like a war zone. Chicago
of murder than we were at the height of the period that has driven Chicago's crime reputation for almost a century.
You calling 911?
This generation is not finna stop.
I was told that's how the gangsters do it. We don't grab choppers.
So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I've been warning natural news readers for years to be aware that your pension is probably going to collapse. And now, the state of Illinois, being that it's basically broke, we're going to see a collapse of pension funds for all the retired school teachers, police officers, firefighters, government workers, all across the state. They are trying to live on their pension funds. Those pensions are going to be slashed. Probably, my guess is they're going to be slashed to 30 cents on the dollar. So if you're getting a check from the state of Illinois right now for, let's say, $1,000 a month, you need to count on that check being reduced to $300 a month. Can they do that? Of course they can. Bankruptcy is called bankruptcy protection. It means that they reorganize the cash outflow to creditors, which includes their pension IOUs. So the state bureaucrats, who are frankly mostly left-wing Democrats who just blow through money as if it falls out of the sky or something, they can cut your pensions, they can cut their promises, they can break their promises, and they will. It's now only a matter of time. So if you're a retiree in the state of Illinois, you need to be prepared for this to happen. It's just like I told you. You need to get into gold or silver or some other safer store of wealth, and a pension fund is not a store of wealth. I know people who got out of their pension funds early. They paid the penalty for early withdrawal. They paid the taxes on that, and then they still have money left over. They are going to be way better off than people who are still sitting there hoping that their pension is going to exist after all this bankruptcy fallout takes place. But the real news in all of this is not just Illinois, you see. New Jersey's probably next. We've got, Florida. We've got California. Dare I even mention the financial trouble that California is in? States all across America are in real trouble financially. And part of the reason is that even though states can issue debt in the form of bonds, states can't print their own money, so they can't crank out fiat currency like the central bank can. So states can't create unlimited quantitative easing and just dump money into the system. If they could, believe me, they would. But they can't. So they're running out of money, and bankruptcy is now right around the corner for many U.S. states. And what we're seeing really in the big picture is this collapse of the let's pretend universe. If you think about it, in America for the last several generations, we have been playing pretend. We've been in a massive bubble of everything, a bubble of consumer spending, a bubble of debt. We've been in a technology bubble as well, where everybody thinks, oh, the augmented reality is going to make the world a better place. No, it isn't. It's going to make the world a more fake and artificial place. It's going to disconnect you from reality. It's not going to enhance your reality. We've been in so many bubbles for so long, but especially spending bubbles and debt bubbles, that have led to the real estate bubble and the bond market bubble and the commodities bubble. All of these bubbles, construction bubble. These bubbles are all rooted in fantasy land thinking. And as a result, they're all going to collapse and probably very close to the same time. Between now, which is late June 2017, and the end of 2020, which is the next presidential election, by the way. So between now and the end of 2020, things are going to crash hard in America. We will see probably the stock market down by 50% or more. We'll see the tech stocks, especially NASDAQ, crushed by maybe as much as 60 to even 70% on the extreme end. We're going to see a crash in real estate markets back to prices that were maybe around the 2005 level. We're going to see crashes in bond markets, crashes in commodities markets, and we're going to see crashes in state debt and national debt markets with the downgrading of debt instruments by ratings agencies, which are mostly corrupt anyway. So much wealth is going to be destroyed or consumed or just vanish, really, because it never existed. As all of this leverage unfolds and you have really what's called systemic deleveraging, you're going to see apparent wealth vanish. It's the illusion of wealth that is disappearing because it was never real in the first place. Speculative markets, if you're just buying into things and the price keeps going up and up and up, but it's not really contributing in a real way to quality of life or the economy or innovation, speculative markets always crash. Bubbles always burst. And right now there's so much leverage in the system and so much debt in the system, so much overspending in the system that it's going to be catastrophic. And the truth is that almost no one is prepared for the crash that's coming. I mean, how many people in Illinois, for example, who are retirees living off that pension check, do they have an extra $1,000 a month to cover the $1,000 that they might lose or the $700 per month they might lose? The answer is no. For most people, no. A lot of people are living precariously, paycheck to paycheck, even in retirement, when they're supposed to have life savings, right? You're supposed to be able to retire at maybe 65 and live, and to the rest of your life on this pension money or maybe your retirement savings or the value of your home. And all of those things are crashing. All of those things are on the verge of massive implosions. And the people, the psychology of the people in this country, it's not ready. People aren't prepared for the devastating collapse of their, what they think is a store of wealth or a money stream that they depend on, like a pension fund. And frankly, these people don't deserve to be punished in this way. I mean, these are good cops and firefighters and emergency response personnel and government workers who tend to be just low-level government workers just doing their jobs. They're not part of the evil globalist cabal. They're just doing their job. And they put in, 20, 30, 40 years, whatever. They retired. They're supposed to get a paycheck. And now that's being stolen from them. It's going to happen state by state by state. All that money is going to be taken from people. And it's going to be, people may rise up against the massive theft that's taking place. Seriously, people may rise up. By the year 2020, I can't even tell you what kind of chaos this country is going to be experiencing. It's going to be very challenging for a lot of cities or states or regions to get through it. There's going to be a lot of people suffering, a lot of new homeless people, and a lot of desperate people who are literally maybe even starving, trying to figure out where they can get their next meal. That's coming because of the incredibly irresponsible, massive overspending by not just Democrats, but establishment Republicans as well. All these just fools in Washington, just spending and spending and spending. And, the mayor of Detroit, the mayor of Chicago, the governor of Illinois, just spending, spending, spending. That's all they know. Because that's the only way they get elected. Because the voters, for the most part, just want to elect whoever's going to give them the most handouts, the most free stuff. And so it's a self-perpetuating cycle of economic suicide. And it's coming. It has begun. So watch for Illinois. It's going to probably declare bankruptcy like Puerto Rico did very, very soon. California may be next. New Jersey may be next. It's going to ripple across the country. Creditors are going to start bailing out of state and municipal bonds because they see this happening. A collapse is now underway. It has begun, and it's just starting to accelerate. So I want you to be safe, stay informed, read my website, naturalnews.com, where I give you a lot of financial preparedness advice, financial survival, how to reduce your risk, reduce volatility, get into real things like gold and land, things that hold value so that you don't get wiped out and burned by what's coming. But thank you for watching this. I hope you stay safe, and I urge you to stay informed. Visit my website, naturalnews.com, for more. My name's Mike Adams. I'm known as the Health Ranger. Thank you for watching today. Support our films for humanity. Visit healthrangerstore.com. The cleanest lab-verified health products in the world.